So it's official, high-end VR is out in the open, and at least for those who ended up getting their pre-orders delivered on time, some are playing on virtual reality thanks to the Oculus Rift. And then in a few short days, we're going to be seeing the Vive hit, and then later this year, we're going to get the release of PlayStation VR in October. Now, while some are excited about these prospects, a lot of people excited about VR, others aren't, it is interesting to see what developers think about it. And while some have praised VR, many are telling everybody to keep their expectations in check. And one guy who is a lead creative director for Ubisoft apparently hates it. So Alex Hutchinson has been the creative director and worked on a number of big titles, including Army of Two, Assassin's Creed 3. He was the creative director for Far Cry 4. He's been on Twitter recently taking aim at the new gaming medium. So here's what he said. He tweeted out the other day, "The future arrives lonely and stationary," which I think is a lot of people can agree on, and that's one thing that turns a lot of people off, because VR, it removes you from everything else and everyone. And one of the things that I was thinking about just earlier today, I was sitting here and I was multitasking, because I've gotten to where I stream a lot of times from my Xbox to my PC, just because I've got multiple monitors on my PC, and I'm like a multitask gamer. Like, I'll be playing games, and then in between rounds, I'm checking my phone, I'm checking my email, I'm browsing the web. So if you've just got this VR headset on, and I was reading about where some people were complaining about this in their reviews, they said they didn't realize it until they were doing it, that, I mean, that's where you're at. You're in the game. And if you want to do anything else, you've got to take off this headset in order to look around to get your bearings and then do whatever it is. So whenever you've got that on, you're not going to be doing anything else. So it does away with the multitasking for a lot of people, at least for right now. And the way that I kind of compare it is, you know, we went from 10-inch TVs to 70-inch TVs to basically strapping a TV on your face with the added ability, at least, of looking around. But anyways, he continued, "Whenever I was 15, I used to play Outrun, and when I crashed the car, my friend would kick my chair over. Far more immersive than VR." Then, after Sony revealed the price point for the PlayStation VR, which is $400 if you're just buying the headset, if you've already got the PS4, you got the PlayStation camera, you got those dildos with glowing balls that you wave around, which, on a separate note, I'm reading that's actually the worst thing so far about PlayStation VR, is a lot of people complaining that these motion controls feel like they're still from the early 90s and don't work well at all with the system. But needless to say, he wasn't impressed with those price points, because he said, "Sony saves VR with only a mildly ridiculous price point." And then he said, "The folks shilling VR would benefit from dialing down their rhetoric a notch. They're setting themselves up for some harsh future headlines." And then finally he tweeted out a video and said, "This is the best thing I've seen with VR." But all it was a video of a father holding his little girl sitting on a bike, and they've got this video playing on the TV of a mountain bike, and he's just moving the bike up and down and going along with the videos. I mean, she's not really doing anything with virtual reality, but it is, I guess, immersive if you were her. Now, most of the major studios, you know, haven't committed to VR, really. They haven't put in a big investment. Most companies like EA and Ubisoft have said that they're kind of in a wait-and-see approach to see how well it takes off. They've already said it's not going to sell, you know, 1 billion units. And even Oculus have kind of lowered expectations for shareholders. They've said this is going to be something that's kind of slow getting out there. You know, there'll be this big bump whenever you first release a product, but then after a while it's going to slow back down. But one of the biggest issues I've seen, though, since these big companies aren't invested heavily in this, is a lot of the reviews are talking about how whenever you look at the library of games, they're just not compelled to play any of them. Like, you've got a lot of like smaller things that you would, you know, hand over to your friend. It's like, hey, check this out. This is really cool. And then after 10 or 15 minutes, then you try to find something else, you know. So there's not a lot of huge titles right now that are built for VR that people are really getting into. So the library is really slim right now. I know Ubisoft is working on a smaller game, and I think it's got something to do with an eagle or something. I don't know. But I'm guessing this guy isn't going to be in charge of that particular title. Earlier this week, I tweeted out that I was considering making the jump to getting Oculus or a Vive with based on my tax return. But the more I've thought about it, the more I've read the reviews from people who have got their hands on it, the more I'm inclined to just wait. Some are saying that Oculus isn't comfortable or adjustable when it comes to people with glasses. I wear glasses most of the time. I've got contacts, but I don't want to have to go pop in my contacts just to play a game. And then this is, of course, the first generation. So no doubt future iterations are going to probably be better, and it's going to come down in price. And hopefully by that time, then there'll also be a lot of good games that's going to be worth having. So while I'd like to try it, and I'm really tempted to, because I mean, this is what I do. I do videos, I do reviews and things. Not so much reviews, but I do them occasionally for y'all. I mean, it would be something that I would like to do. And I have tried like some of the Google Cardboard and things like that, which is neat. I mean, it's neat being encased in that world. So I would like to see like a higher end VR and see how it does, but just, taking everything in and me trying to be logical, it just doesn't seem like a smart investment at the moment. So I'm going to kind of take an approach kind of like these big companies are and just wait and see. I'll also get to see the Vive reviews, see how they come out, how it compares to Oculus. And then also Sony, is talking about bringing the PlayStation VR to PC. So I'm just going to hold back, sit back, watch it unfold. Are you surprised to see a lead dev from a major company going off on VR like this, and do you agree or disagree with his statements about virtual reality? Is VR the next gen, or is it just the next fad? That does for me, The Red Dragon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.